All right, what's going on YouTube? Ryan Ogren here again, and today we're doing another data center news reaction. It's November 22nd, 2025. It's so crazy how fast things move in the data center space. But we're going to do another reaction video. I think you guys like these, so that's why we're going to keep doing them. And pretty much, it's like it's a reaction video, but it's just, there's things that happen, and then it like jogs my memory of like things to talk about. So there might be other snippets in here, but so far it's going to be a news video. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, so for those that don't know, I'm Ryan Ogren. Welcome to the channel. Consider liking and subscribing if you find value, of course. I don't want to free subscribe. I want to earn it. If you find value in this, if you like the channel, please make sure you do. But I'm a private equity investor in the data center and energy infrastructure space. I'm known for putting deals together, like massive deals together. What's crazy though is like the NDAs, I like can't say the deals that I've done. So hopefully we have one that's under agreement right now, and I believe once that goes and gets announced, I can say that I was a part of it, and then you guys, I think maybe we'll have more subscribers on the channel then. But pretty much I put these things together. They're really hard. That last deal took me over a year just working on it solely pretty much. So this is my take on what's going on in the data center space. So make sure you like and subscribe. And I make these videos for two reasons. One, deal flow. We get all of our deal flow from social media, LinkedIn primarily. So go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn. I'll put a link below. And if you want to check out more info about my company, you can go to my website, PRRpartners.com. But two, there's not a lot of young people in the energy and power infrastructure space. I think everyone wants to be an influencer these days, and that's hurting our youth. That's hurting the younger generation. I'm 28 as of recording this video, and the guys that are doing the deals right now, the guys I do these deals with, they're like late 40s, early 50s, maybe even 60s. So these power generation assets, these data centers are going to be pretty much around after the guys doing the deals right now are long gone. So it's going to be our generation that's taking care of everything. It's funny to see like how much of an age gap there really is, but you know, young ambitious people should, and deal makers and investors, they should be in this industry because we're going to need those talented minds. So that's why I'm making these videos. I think eventually I'll be that bridge. I'll be able to get more people into the industry, and obviously I'll probably monetize it at some point in time somehow, or I'll probably just have a lot more goodwill with you guys. I won't monetize it, but I'll have goodwill, and that gives better deal flow. So maybe that's the thing. But that's why I make these videos. Consider liking and subscribing if you are aligned with that mission. If not, get lost. I'm just kidding. But anyways, let's get into today's news. So it's November 22nd, 2025. Majestic Labs raises $100 million for its all-in-one servers designed to eliminate the memory wall. The company was founded by former Google and Meta executives. So the only thing that's crazier than like the AI race is the race for AI talent. You see these really strong employees, these guys that have a really good hold on AI. They understand what AI is. They understand how to grow AI. They understand how to develop AI. They understand where it's going, and they're powerful. And they're in these companies, Google, Meta, XAI, OpenAI. They're all over these companies, and they just constantly, they look at it like, wow, this company is about to make so much money from this, or I don't align with this company's initiatives, and then they go out and they spin off and do their own company. So the market, it's a beautiful thing about capitalism where, yes, Google, Meta, AWS, like these hyperscalers are leading the AI race for sure, but the AI like talent, the market always corrects itself. So these really talented individuals, they spin up and they do their own startup, and they apply what they learned at these companies and get in these massive lawsuits. And that's really an interesting thing. Majestic Labs, it sounds like a noble feat. Let's read a little bit more about it. AI server startup emerged from stealth earlier this month, following a $100 million Series A funding round. Israel-based, dramatically improved AI infrastructure with its system architecture that aims to rebalance memory and compute, eliminating an issue known as the memory wall, gap between processor speed and memory bandwidth. According to the company, its all-in-one server is capable of handling the largest AI workloads that currently require multiple racks of servers, delivering the memory capacity of 10 or more racks in one server. Okay, its approach reportedly allows companies to realize more than 50 times performance gains while reducing power and cooling costs associated with a large number of racks. So I don't think this statement's accurate. I think this part's accurate. Its approach reportedly allows companies to realize more than 50 times performance gains whilst reducing power, that's a funny word, whilst reducing power and cooling costs associated with a large number of Majestic's claims. So I think this second part's against human nature. So if you can make a more efficient rack, let's say you can literally put, let's see, it says its all-in-one server is capable of handling the largest AI workload that's currently required, multiple racks of servers and switches, delivering the memory capacity of 10 or more racks in one server. So for you guys that don't know, there's servers that are in one rack, and this is saying that in one server it's able to actually have the same amount of computing capacity as multiple racks of servers. Okay, so this is crazy, but I'm not saying it's not true, but it just makes things more efficient. It's exactly, if you guys have been on this channel, it's exactly what I said was going to happen. And becoming more efficient with power is very interesting for the power infrastructure. But do you think it's just going to make these companies consume less power? No, they're going to still fill up that data center to max capacity with these more efficient racks. And which is going to actually consume 50 times the amount of power. That's why these hyperscalers and these other data center end users have these load ramps that go like straight up. And the reason that's so important is you got to understand human nature. You never stop scaling. And once you scale, if you make this amount of money, you want to make this amount of money. Like the goalposts always move. And at these companies, they are pushing the limits as fast as they could possibly go. So it's not like they're going to be reducing power and cooling costs. They're actually just going to be making them more efficient, and they're going to have more power consumed, and they're going to have to cool more of that power. So they're reducing power and cooling costs like it's reducing power and cooling costs per megawatt, but it's not reducing it overall because they're going to be consuming 50 times. If this is accurate, they're going to be consuming 50 times the amount of power, which means they have to cool it 50 times, like 50. So do you guys get what I'm saying? If they get more efficient in the data center with their racks, let's say they can put 10 racks into just one server, and there's 10 servers in a rack or 8 servers in a rack. And so they just literally shrunk down the data center by 50 servers into one. They fit 50 servers into one. I don't know if this is making sense. It's not like they're just not going to fill up the entire data center with those more efficient servers. They most certainly are going to do that. So then they can handle more power into that data center, which means we got to go get them more power. So it's good for the power infrastructure, guys. I'm telling you, we will always be needed. The amount of power that's required is going to be bananas. I'm still bullish on it. I think Michael Burry thinks there's a bubble, and I agree there's maybe a somewhat of a bubble, but when you see things like, you got to pair it with human nature and understand that it's not like we're going to stop needing data centers. I think having data centers in space is an interesting idea too, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see. Co-founder, COO, Red infrastructure is scaling at unprecedented speed, but the industry has not solved key fundamental architectural inefficiencies. Majestic addresses this by delivering immediate gains on today's workloads while maintaining full programmability and flexibility to adapt as AI evolves beyond transformer-based models. Interesting. I've been saying it. Let's see what else we got. Oh, the other thing I already started talking about, but I got drifted off into the efficiency of a data center. So these employees, they go off and they start these own companies. You guys saw that some young engineers are getting paid from Zuckerberg like $100 million and stuff like that. It's an interesting place to be in, especially if you understand AI and that capacity, like how to grow AI. But as soon as we hit AGI and SGI, I think those roles, they're going to taper off exponentially. I don't think those AGI and SGI guys are going to... No, I think everyone's going to have to understand it. I think those guys that actually understand it, that create it, they're actually going to be the most valuable people ever because they know how to handle it and how it actually thinks and works, and they can see all that stuff because obviously we're going to have once AGI hits, we're going to have a thinking being, a sentient being, or is that SGI? But either way, I think that's interesting. Let's see. We have here HUD 8, good old HUD 8. I know the guy that did a deal with HUD 8, and he's awesome. He loves them. Crypto mining firm HUD 8 sells 310 megawatt Canadian natural gas portfolio to all 4 projects in Ontario. The move is the latest step in the company's drive to prioritize Bitcoin mining and HPC infrastructure. HUD 8 acquired the plants in partnership with Macquarie Equipment Finance in 2023 through their joint entity Far North Power. The facilities include a 40 megawatt plant in Kapu Casing, a 110 megawatt plant in Kingston, a 120 megawatt plant in Iroquois Falls, and a 40 megawatt plant in North Bay. HUD 8 has said that since it acquired the plants, it has undertaken an effort to stabilize operations and restore the plants as revenue-generating assets. Earlier in the year, Far North announced that it has secured 5-year capacity contracts for the entire 310 megawatt portfolio through Ontario. So here's the interesting thing about us in Canada. I've worked on deals in Canada, and the thing about it is I don't understand how their utilities and the grid work. I met with a company that said they were the utility, and this is pretty much the thing that prevents me from doing deals outside of the US. And I think it realistically is, as long as you can uncover this process, I think you can still get away with it. But you just need to understand how to connect to the grid and who's the grid operator, who's the transmission operator. So who's in charge of you connecting to the grid and who's in charge of the power coming from the grid. Sometimes it's the same entity, sometimes it's different. Depends on the grid itself. It depends on the country. But I think all of that is really what prevents me from going outside of the US. But I've looked at some deals in Canada, and I just couldn't figure out, maybe I just didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I just couldn't figure out how to connect to the grid, and this lady was not helping me out at all. It was like one of those conversations that just went nowhere. Obviously, if you guys are in this space, you understand there's a million conversations that just go nowhere. But it was one of those, and I was like, what's like the interconnection process? And she like gave me like this runaround answer, and I don't know if she knew who we were, or like maybe she didn't. But that's the thing that's interesting about Canada, and that's one of the things that I'm always envious of these big firms like Hut 8. Like they can get away with doing deals all over the world. Same thing with AWS. Same thing with all these hyperscalers. Every colo, Rizzo, for instance, they're doing big deals. So they just have the team, and they have the reputation to do that stuff. We just have a small reputation and a small team. Yeah, maybe I'm just a little sour. I don't know. But it's not saying that you can't get deals done. Not saying you can't get deals done in anywhere else. Let's go back and see what else we have. Ooh, CleanArc breaks ground on 900 megawatt data center campus in Virginia. First 300 megawatts due live in 2027. Well, I guess it's pretty much 2026. U.S. firm CleanArc Data Centers has broken ground on its debut campus in Caroline County, Virginia. The company this week announced the groundbreaking of its flagship 900 megawatt VA1 campus. The first 300 megawatts is due to come online in Q1 2027. The second 300 megawatt is currently projected for 2030, and another 300 megawatt in the 2033-2035 timeframe. Woo. Yeah. These ramps it's pretty much what it's funny. It's in Northern Virginia still. The interesting thing about this stuff though is like if we just look at this whole load ramp, 300 megawatt, 300 megawatt, 300 megawatt, that's one full combined cycle power plant. That's for one site. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So like when I see load ramps like this, it's pretty bananas to think that we have to go build one full power plant just for this announcement, just to make the grid not move. Isn't that insane? So when Michael Burry's there's a bubble, how does he think that actually this back half, for instance, like the back 300 megawatts on this time frame, that the company here is not going to have a tenant, and then that's going to be the bubble, and then that's going to affect, obviously we have too much power then? I don't know. Maybe if that's the case, because that seems like that's the only risk here. If they just can't use the power, like AI gets so efficient that the power that we're building, it just gets too powerful. But realistically, I don't see that happening. I think AI's capabilities are way beyond that. So there's going to definitely be a correction, though, I think. I definitely think there's going to be a correction. So get your deals done now. CleanArc was launched early last year by clean energy investment firm 547 Energy. Private equity firm Snowhawk invested in CleanArc in September and is now the company majority. The company has since taken follow-on investment from Townsend Group and Nuveen. Who's Nuveen? Let's see who Nuveen. Nuveen, the investment manager of TIAA, has 1.3 trillion in assets under management. Interesting. Cool. Congrats to the CleanArc team. Looking forward to seeing you guys pull it through. I'll get working on a power plant close to you, so you guys make sure you get the power. I'm just kidding. I know there's a power plant coming online somewhere close to you guys, but my lips are sealed. Can't get me in trouble. Amazon is developing the Orok Tech Campus, a 920-acre site set to host 4.5 million square feet across 11 data centers. The company was recently granted an economic deal with Spotsylvania counties for the project. Wow, that's interesting. That's pretty dense. A 920-acre site for 4.5 million square feet across 11 data centers. A lot of people are saying like, oh, we have 10 acres, Ryan. I'm like, look, man, I don't think you understand. These deals, like, the bigger the site, the better. But yeah, if the Michael Burry thing is haunting in my brain now. If there's, let's say AWS has all of these sites, they have 11 data centers here, and that doesn't count everything else. And what happens if we just get so efficient with AI that we don't need all that compute? But if we are so efficient with AI and we don't need all that compute, we would just find a way to use it on something else. I'm telling you, I still don't think there's a bubble. And once again, I'm thinking out loud, guys, so this video is kind of all over the place. I'll end it there now that I am all over the place. I was just reading this OpenAI Science deal, but that was the 10th of June. So yeah, that's the data center news of November 22nd, 2025. I'll get back to our tactical videos after this. I just haven't been planning them out, so you guys I've been getting more views on these videos at the very least, so that's why I've been doing more. Trying to grow this channel by any means necessary. So if you guys have any requests, comment below what you want to see, what you want to hear. I will do the video just for you, just to grow my following and grow my subscribers. Hope you enjoyed it. Consider liking and subscribing. Coffee's hitting. And have a great weekend. See you guys tomorrow. See you.